Hey, this is Ava Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com. In this review, I will be highlighting the transformation, special features, and other notables of the Engine Gattai Series No. 9 Engine Jumbwhale from the 2008 Super Sentai series Engine Sentai go-onger. Jumbwhale is a combination of two elements. He's a vehicle, and he's also an animal. The particular animal is the blue whale. This is fairly obvious because of the dark blue coloring. Unlike Busan, which is engine number 2, Jumbwhale is dark blue, Busan is just standard blue. So that's how you tell them apart, color-wise. As far as the blue whale goes, it is the largest animal to inhabit the Earth, like ever. Unless Loch Ness Monster comes along, or the Kraken, this is it. The vehicle that he represents is a little harder to diagnose. Ordinarily, I would have said he's a cargo plane, reason being these are cargo pods. I'll get into that in a moment. The mouth can open and close, and he's got a T-tail in back. On the other hand, Jumbwhale is seen, for the first time, he's really seen in a commercial airfield. He's hidden inside a giant hangar he's managed to seclude himself in for the first few episodes. Like, he appears in one episode, we don't see him clearly, and then later on, in like episode 22 or something, we see him, and we see him like this. We finally get to see all of him. So he comes out of a hangar bay, which is way too big. I'm going on. I don't need to. So he's a cargo plane, but he's got these little windows. This is a decal, by the way. He's got these 7 or 8 windows up here, and you can't see it very well, but there actually is a little ridge. It's a little hump right up here, which makes him a little more reminiscent of the Boeing 747, or in the industry, as they call it, just the 47. Like I said, he's either a cargo plane or he's a 747. The 747 has 2 engines on each wing. Jumbwhale just has 1 on each wing, so most of the other engines you can't really tell what vehicle or particular animal they are, but same case here. Jumbwhale is easily the largest toy engine, and engine in the show that's been produced yet. He's 17 inches wide, 17-inch wingspan. He's 12.5 inches long, and he's 4 3/4 inches tall. So he's pretty big. I think Corrugator has him beat by like 1 or 2 inches as far as length. But, if you turn Corrugator side to side, forget it. He's pretty big. And unfortunately, his size is going to become an issue later on with combinations. So right now, this is fine. If you want to store him, on the shelf as an engine, one little thing I found is that you could just turn the wings sideways, just like that, and you'll have all the space you need. If you have to, you can also take the tails off, because the tails, obviously you had to install them when you got the toy. The engine pods pop off, and the wings also pop off here as well. The engine pods are for use with actually something other than the DX engine line. What that is in addition to the DX size engines, Bandai produced the Chogokin engine line, which was a bunch of, just think Hot Wheels sized engines for, Speedor, Busan, Bearvie, Burka, and Gunford. And what you could do is you just take these pods, you open them up, you stick one in, and that's it. You can only stick one in each pod at a time. However, Engine Gattai Series number 6, Corrugator, can actually carry all 5 on top of him, on the top of him. But otherwise, if you don't have the Chogokin engines, then you have no need to take the pods apart. Other than rolling them around, Jumbwhale doesn't really have any special features in his engine mode. However, you can open up the mouth. And by the way, that's not his tongue. That's actually Seiku-Oh's head in there, which I'll get into later. But yeah, the mouth can open up. He can roll. You can fold the wings if you need to. The other feature that he has, though, is fairly significant, and that is his jet mode. Well, he's already a jet, so why not? Let's just take one step further and actually call it jet mode. It's fairly simple. Basically, this is his high-speed interceptor form. I don't know why it is he has it, but he does. Useful. I actually like how you can twist the landing gear onto the tails as well. And this is his jet mode. Basically, it's basically, you know, giant flying wing. Yeah, see, giant flying wing. But what's the cool thing is what's on the back. So you can see all those rocket engines on the back, which, admittedly, that's a nice detail feature, even if they are functionless in toy form. And again, because the wheels were turned, you can roll them around easily enough. So this is Jumbwhale in his jet mode. As with all the other DX-sized engines, Jumbwhale comes with his own engine soul. Yeah. I hate that activation button. Ordinarily, with Cargator, stick it in his mouth. With Buson, stick it on the top. With all the others, you stick it in the back. With Jumbwhale, you stick it underneath. Decal goes to Jumbwhale's left. Sound effects are thus. I love it when he says... He sounds like a ghost when he says that. Whoa! Not sure what that first word is, but I think you can figure out the rest. Now, the thing about Jumbwhale you have to understand is, unlike Burka, who can speak multiple languages, English is the worldwide acknowledged official language of the aviation industry. All airplanes use this, particularly in the commercial air industry. You have English, so whether you come from Japan, China, India, doesn't matter where it is. Europe, Africa, South America, those aren't countries, obviously. You speak English when you're talking over the radio. So it's no surprise then that Jumbwhale also speaks English. Although he does, you know, in this series he speaks mostly Japanese, so. And then he has two additional sound effects. And... Woo! Of course, when you press both buttons at the same time, there's the first one, finally, and here's the other one. So he says, Bon voyage, and he does a different version of the take off phrase. So, the engine sounds are generic in that regard. Again, as with some of the other engines, Jumbwhale works well by himself. He's got wheels, he can roll around, you can do interesting things with the wings, he's got good sound effects, his mouth opens, that's nice, and then he also has the jet mode. So, by himself, Jumbwhale does just fine. The undercarriage, not being able to retract landing gear, the blockiness of the engine pods, I believe they're called nacelles, that's not a Star Trek only term. The blockiness of the nacelles, those are minor quips. But you can also tell this guy is just covered in tiny little attachment features just all over the place. So that actually might come to the point where it's a detractor to his appearance. But otherwise, it works out pretty well here. That is, until you put it together with some of the other engines. Then things start getting interesting. In order to do this, you're going to need Jumbwhale, obviously. You're going to need Engine Gattai Series number 7, Toripta, and Engine Gattai Series number 8, Jetras, in order to do this. Here we go. Jetras and Toripta, we already know these. We already know how these two transform, okay? Why is that taking so long? That doesn't take so long. We already know how these things transform, okay? We've done it a million times already because we saw them already in Engine O Jetripta. Here's where things get interesting. so the head can pop off. Huh? Well, that's interesting. Now the feet, there's actually no place to grab onto anything, so you just have to kind of pick and choose your spot on how to separate those legs. And no, the feet do not turn inward or outward, as I wish they would have done. Jetras, even though the toys, even though the accessory arms can go on either side, Jetras is always shown on the left side, and Toripta is always shown on the right side. And there you have the Engine Gattai Seiku-Oh. Mission starto! The Engine Gattai Seiku-Oh is good and bad. Appearance-wise, it's not bad. It could be a little bit, like, the feet are probably my least favorite part. Yeah, they're nice and narrow, but the legs are really thin, and it would have been extra nice if these flukes had been able to fold inward or something. I mean, it's not like they're using the rocket engines in there anyways. Believe it or not, I don't have much of a problem with those engine pods hanging up on the top. Maybe if they'd hung underneath, wouldn't have been a problem, but it's not bad. Seriously, it's not bad. Like I said, there's those minor picks, and then that's about it. Posability is where it gets into trouble, though. The arms, I'm going to try and highlight it as best as I can. The hole for the shoulder connection points is actually slightly offset from the joint itself. It's actually, like, here's the joint. Let's see, here's the joint, and then here's the connection point. So what happens is, when you tilt the arm forward, you can see the shoulder, or the arm, the shoulder joint, is actually different from that mounting point there. It's slightly different, but if you look hard enough, you can see it. And you can see that the whole wing, I mean the entire wing is part of the shoulder joint. It's not, sitting back here or something like that. The whole shoulder joint is back there. And then of course for this side, you fold this up. Now, as with Engine Jettripta, you can't spin the blade here. I don't think they came up with a name for this thing spinning. I know it can come off and it's whatever. The only way you can do it again is to turn it to the side, and then it'll turn. Turning flat, no problem. But once you get it under the wing, you're stuck. So is it. But as I just pointed out, we still have those great shoulder joints. Elbow, shoulder joints, I don't know. And that's it, as usual. The head, okay, Bandai, there's no reason why the head should not have turned. Okay, that's just ridiculous. So, it's good and bad. It looks cool, but, one thing I wish they would have done, now that I think about it, or now that I remind myself, is I wish they could have had the wings fold all the way down. Now, here's the problem. You can take the engine pods off. Now, this works with the left arm because that wing just barely squeezes by Jetras. However, with the left arm, it bumps into the tail. You can't fold it down properly. Well, you can, but it distorts things. So, I wish you could have had the arms folded back. Well, actually, I wish that the arrangement of the wings had been similar to that found on the DX Delta Formation Time Shadow, which is this guy from the 2000... Yeah, the Millennium series, the Mirai Sentai Time Ranger. This is actually a deluxe Time Shadow Megazord, but, I mean, the arms were, completely independent in both ways. And also notice how similar the heads are. Now, this one has eyes, but, it's got the little fin thing, it's got the little visor thing, it's got a little face mask, it's got a cockpit on the chest, it's got these huge wings off the back. Like, I love this thing, by the way. So anyways, I wish that the wings on the Seiku-Oh head performed a bit like that. Instead, we got this thing. Like, by itself, is not bad. Just, it's okay. It's pretty big, though, compared to the other two engine Gattai. The engine Gattai Gunbur-O. Let's see, how can I do this and save time? I can't, really. You can see how big it is height-wise there. And then the ever-famous engine Gattai Engine-O. You can see, you know, it's got it matched in height. I think the Engine-O and Seiku-Oh are just about the same height, because Gunbur-O was always slightly shorter. But width-wise, it's, you know, it's no contest. So, as far as the Seiku-Oh goes, like I said, it's a good design. It's not the greatest, but it'll do. It's so far, I like Gunbur-O because of the shoulder joints. I like this guy just aesthetically, and I like this one just because it's kind of kooky, but it works. So, as far as these three engine Gattai go, I think we're doing pretty well here. G9 formation, engine Gattai! This is Ava Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com, signing off. It's pretty big, though, when you compare.